What's up everybody, it's Jimmy, and today we're gonna do a Q&A. A couple days ago I posted on my Instagram to leave some comments. You guys left like 900, so I'm gonna try to get to 900 questions, which probably not happen, but we'll see. Alright, so we're just gonna hop right into this. The first question says, what age were you when you dunked for the first time? I talked about this in my D1 story. I was 12. I wish I had footage of it, but that was 10 years ago. Nobody really had iPhones. We didn't really have cameras on our phones back then. So I know it makes me sound old, but it is what it is. This question says, if you had a redo for anything in your life, what would you use it on? Sports, school, etc. Honestly, I don't think I would redo life. If there's one thing I could do, it would be maybe to focus on basketball a little bit more, but then I felt maybe I'd probably put all my eggs into one basket. So I'm kind of glad I diversified my skills and I got into a bunch of different things. This question says, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Probably nothing. Actually, I would make myself a little bit taller. I'm 6'1". Honestly, I'd like to be like 6'6". That would be dope. What do you want your kids to do in the future, and how many kids do you want? Me and my wife, we talked about this a couple times, and we'd like to have 4 kids, which sounds like a lot, but I come from a family of 8 and she comes from a family of like 7, so it's not really that much for us. And we would like to have 3 boys, 1 girl, and I don't really care what they do. They could do whatever they want. They could play chess, water polo, doesn't matter. As long as they're putting 100% effort into it and they're working hard and getting good grades, I really don't care. I would like for them to get into like football, basketball, baseball, but if they don't want to, that's up to them. Are you still in college? Yes, technically I am in college. I've transferred to WSU Vancouver, but I'm not currently taking classes. I have 2 more semesters, so I'm really close. That's 1 more year, and I just feel like there's a lot of good stuff going on in my life right now, so I'm kind of putting that on the back burner. This one says, who was your favorite player as a kid? Mine was LeBron, and mine was LeBron too. I remember back in the 07 playoffs, it was a 22-year-old LeBron going against a veteran Spurs team with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. And I remember he went down and just stuffed it on Tim Duncan. And that was when I became a fan of the NBA. Like, I played NBA games before, and I've played obviously pickup games, and I played organized basketball, but that's when I really became a fan of the NBA, is when I watched a terrible Cleveland Cavaliers team and LeBron James make it to the playoffs and get to the finals. That was unbelievable. Shout out LeBron. So you think you will ever hit 1 million subs on YouTube? That's a tough question. I think potentially yes, I could. It's not necessarily a goal of mine, but I think in the future that could happen. If I keep putting in the effort and I don't slack off, the answer to that question is yes, I do think I could hit 1 million subs on YouTube. I'd be really grateful if that happened. Who is your favorite athlete of all time? Michael Jordan. Second to Michael Jordan is Usain Bolt, because I ran track, and Usain Bolt is the most dominant athlete of all time in any sport, and it's not even close. But yeah, Michael Jordan, he's the GOAT. As much as I love LeBron, you just can't touch MJ. And Tiger Woods, I really like Tiger Woods too, what he did for the sport of golf, and he's just a homie. Where are you from, city and state? I am from Washington, Vancouver, Washington. It's about 15 minutes north of Portland. It's way smaller than Portland, but I just say I'm from Portland because it's way closer and people know where that is. And if I say Washington, people think Washington, D.C. And if I say Vancouver, people think Canada. So who is your role model inspiration? My role model is my mother and my brother. And I know people are probably thinking as far as athletes or celebrities go, I don't really have, because I just don't know them personally, so I don't know, like, you know, how they act off the court or off the field or whatever. As far as normal people go, we know that normal people have their everyday struggles. I mean, sure, professional athletes do too, but it's kind of hard to relate to guys who are multimillionaires, where as my mother and my brother, I've seen them go through stuff, and I've seen them struggle, and I've seen them overcome that stuff, and that kind of pushes me as a person. So I really appreciate them. Shout out to them. I love you guys. Who is better, LeBron or Jordan? Michael Jordan. Favorite rapper? Ooh, Drake. He's so versatile. Honestly, More Life. People don't like More Life, but I really did like More Life. The tropical vibes, I feel it. Kendrick is in there. Mac Miller, Ray Shremmerd. I like a little bit of everything. I like that conscious rap. I like that. Oh, and Lil Uzi Vert. I love Lil Uzi Vert. He makes really good music. I just like a whole different type of stuff. I'm not the type of guy that's like, oh, that's mumble rap. You gotta listen to conscious stuff. That's not really me. Whatever sounds good to me, I'm gonna listen to. If you had a second channel, what would it be about? Vlogging. I would like to start a vlog. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. It wouldn't be right now, it'd probably be in the future in a couple months, but if you want to see a vlog, let me know, because if I did start another channel, or if I posted more often, it would be vlogs. Who's your best friend? My wife. I mean, we live together. We've been best friends since we were like 15, 16, and we just do everything together. She's my best friend. But besides her, that's tough. I don't want to say, because then my friends watching this, they'll be like, why didn't you pick me? Favorite shoe of all time? That would be the Jordan 11s, which I put in my last video about the giveaway. Make sure to enter that. We're picking winners very soon, so be sure to enter. It's very easy. Just go back and watch my video about the giveaway, and you can find out how. You could actually win a pair of Jordan 11s. Do you listen to the Misfits? Actually, no, I don't. The picture that I posted about the Q&A, I'm wearing a Misfits shirt, and I'm not gonna be a poser or anything and be like, oh, I listened to them, this one song I really like. I don't listen to them. It was a cool shirt. I do like rock though. I actually play the guitar, so, but I do not listen to the Misfits. Favorite video you've ever made? My D1 story. Took a long time, but it's how a lot of people know me. It got me a lot of subscribers. It brought a whole new audience to the channel, and it was nice sharing my story with everybody. What secondary, popularity-wise, sport is your favorite? Probably track and field, but there's just no coverage in it, and there's no money to be made. So I'd say track and field. If not track and field, football. What is your favorite NBA team? I know this sounds really stupid because I'm a basketball channel, but I don't really have a favorite team. I've just always had this idea that like every 5 years, the entire team is mixed up unless they have some franchise player. Take the Blazers, for example. 10 years ago, they had Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge in a completely different roster than they do now. The roster they have now is one of their most promising rosters, but how could you love a team if guys are constantly leaving? Like, do you love the guys on that team? Do you love the culture? Do you love the coach? Do you love the franchise? I just don't get it. Like, if you're from a certain place and you like that team, like if you're from Portland and you like the Blazers, if you're from Los Angeles and you like the Lakers, I completely get that. Like, it's a culture thing, it's a pride thing. But other than that, like, I just never got it. Like, for instance, let's say I like Cleveland because LeBron's on the team. The second LeBron leaves, I'm not gonna like Cleveland. It may look like I'm a bandwagon fan, but in reality, I'm just a fan of good basketball. Like, I really like Kawhi Leonard. I like LeBron James. I like Paul George. I like really good basketball. So I don't really have a favorite team. I watch games all the time. So it's not like I just don't watch games and I don't cheer on teams. I just like watching good basketball. I like watching good players play, and I don't really have a bias. So what made you want to do basketball commentary videos? Well, real quick, shout out to Mike Korzimba and John Boyce. Be sure to check out their channels. I mean, honestly, a lot of you guys have probably seen Korzimba. He's the GOAT. Put some respect on his name, because at the end of the day, a lot of these channels would not exist if it wasn't for Mike. He's honestly the GOAT of NBA commentary, and him and I have actually emailed each other talking about doing a collab together. So that might happen in the future. I'm not quite sure yet. But he is honestly one of the main reasons why I started this channel. I really liked videos like his, and I just wanted more of them. I remember I would like binge watch like 30 of his videos, and then I'd run out of videos. And so I was thinking, like, if people are like me, they'd want to see more. So I decided to make my own channel just so people have more to watch, more channels to subscribe to, so they never run out of content. Also, John Boyce, he works for, I think it's Sports Nation or something like that, I don't know, but he also makes videos on YouTube every once in a while. He has a really, really interesting channel. It's kind of different, the way he sets it up, but it's really, really good. And he's another person that got me into this stuff, so be sure to check out his channel. He doesn't upload often, but when he does, it's very quality content. Do you have any hobbies? Yes, I do have some hobbies. I like to do photography, I paint, I like to work out, play basketball, obviously. My biggest thing, I like to play Xbox One, GTA, you can catch me on that. I have a lot of different hobbies. I skateboard, I play the guitar. Do you think Jello will be better than Jalen Hands at UCLA? No, I don't. Jalen Hands is the prototypical point guard in today's league. He can shoot, he could drive, he's explosive, he has great vision, he can do it all, and he has good size for his position. And with Lonzo leaving, they need a point guard, so I think he'll thrive in their system. Obviously, Jello's a great player, and I think he can make the NBA one day, but I think he's gonna have a harder time adjusting to the college play. So honestly, Jalen Hands will probably have a better year than Jello. Who do you think is the most overrated player in the NBA? Oh, I'm gonna hurt some feelings with this one. Honestly, Kyrie Irving has to be the most overrated player. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. He's top 5 point guards in the league, but he's not the best point guard in the league. Kyrie Irving is a great point guard, don't get me wrong. He's an amazing point guard. He helped my favorite player, LeBron, get a ring, but he's not the best point guard in the league, in my opinion. So I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but that's just how I feel about it. He has flashy moves, and he has the craziest finishes, and he has a really good touch around the rim. He can do all that stuff, and he has killer instinct. He has Mamba instinct, which I think is one of his best attributes. But Stephen Curry, in my opinion, is a better point guard. He can do it all, and he's the greatest shooter of all time. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but that's just my opinion. How far do you think you could have gone with basketball? I think if I really put 100% effort into it. Actually, I made a video yesterday about putting 100% effort into basketball and how it can increase your odds of going to the NBA. And I think if I had that advice growing up, I think I could have gone probably D1 and eventually started on a D1 program. I don't think I could have made the NBA, honestly, but that's a tough question because you never really know unless you put 100% effort into it. And I can't say honestly that I did put 100% effort into it. I could say maybe like 80%, but I had a lot of time going towards other sports. I mean, obviously, just like every other kid, I would slack off in the off season. So who knows? Do you have any tips to try to get into the high school basketball team? Yeah, just have a positive attitude. Don't feel like you're that guy. I mean, the biggest thing when it comes to high school isn't really talent, because everybody, especially for high school basketball, everybody has what it takes to be a varsity player. Like, not everybody has what it takes to make it to the NBA or go D1 or even play college ball, but literally everybody has the tools to be a varsity basketball player. It really isn't that hard. Like, I started on a varsity team when I was a sophomore, and I was an undersized 3. So I honestly believe I've seen guys with that, like, they were honestly like bums in middle school, and they worked really, really hard, and they put in a lot of time, and they eventually made varsity or started on a varsity team. So I think it just takes hard work and dedication. I know that's so typical, but it's typical because it's true. Just put in the time, put in the effort, get good grades. Coaches like to see players with good grades because if you're smart and you have dedication in the classroom, those same traits are going to follow over in basketball, and coaches see that. So be sure to just work hard, dedicate time and effort into it, don't slack off, and just be on good terms with the coaches. Let them know that you're willing to do whatever it takes to be a team player and that you have a positive attitude. Who did you look up to while playing basketball in high school? I really liked Derrick Rose when I was in high school. Obviously, LeBron was my favorite player, but I felt like my game was more like Derrick Rose. If you've seen my D1 story or follow me on Instagram, I post different videos of there all the time of like just me doing stupid stuff, jumping over people, dunking, and I felt like my game was a lot like his. Like, I wasn't the greatest shooter, but I was really explosive. I could get to the rim, I could draw fouls, I could do all that stuff. I had a little bit of vision, all that type of stuff. So and we're more of a similar size. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3". I'm 6'1". So I really looked up to Derrick Rose. His game was so crazy. His MVP year in 2011, I was a junior or a sophomore, and I wanted to be just like Derrick Rose. And then he got hurt. So yeah. If you were good enough to enter the NBA, would you rather have been drafted into the NBA or still be a YouTuber? Bruh. I'm signing that NBA contract so fast you won't even be able to say the word YouTube. But I still love my fans. Shout out High Rollers. What is your ethnicity? I am 100% Japanese. I'm just playing. I'm half black and half white. My mother's white and my father's black. Do you have Snapchat? Yes. But in the words of Lil Uzi Vert, that shit is too personal. Who's the future of the NBA? Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hands down. Kid's a freak. Opinion on the NBA right now. The NBA is kind of boring because we all know who's gonna go to the finals. It's gonna be Golden State. If Kyrie leaves Cleveland, then it might not be Cleveland. But if Kyrie stays, it's gonna be Cleveland and Golden State again. I don't think there's ever been a time in sports, other than when the Bulls made their run, that a team has been too good. Well, obviously the Celtics when Bill Russell was playing, but that was kind of a different era. There was like 12 teams in the league or whatever. But it just kind of makes it a little boring. Golden State's just too good. Kevin Durant is too good. Steph Curry is too good. So it just doesn't make it fun. I would like to see, if I could be the NBA commissioner and I had the power to do this, I would basically redo the whole NBA. I would still have the same amount of teams, same teams, all that stuff. But what I would do is I would have a random lottery or some along the lines of the record the previous year, and I would have each franchise draft like a player. So you would have a superstar or like a really good player on every single team, and then you would have like a second player that would be like an all-star, so like a LeBron and a Kyrie, a James Harden and a Chris Paul. So, and then everybody else would be like a starter and a role player. That would be perfect because then every team is more even and it actually shows who's gonna step up when it matters, and no team is just simply better than the other team. A lot of times in today's NBA, teams are just better than other teams and it just gets kind of boring. How long does it take for you to make one video? It usually takes between, I'd say like 8 to 12 hours between doing the research, recording the audio, editing, putting it together, then uploading it. It takes longer than you would think, but it's just like any other job. I work like a normal 9 to 5. So, and last one, because I'm sure this video is probably gonna be like 15 minutes long, is who's the most underrated NBA player at the moment? That would be Kawhi Leonard. I think because one, he plays for a boring team and a boring organization, but a really good team and a really good organization. And their play style just doesn't do him justice. It's really effective and really efficient, but it's just boring. Like, look at Tim Duncan. The dude has 5 rings with one team. I think he played like 18 years in the NBA. That's an amazing resume, and yet he doesn't even get mentioned when it comes to GOATs. Not even in the conversation, which doesn't make any sense to me. If Kawhi Leonard played on any other team in the NBA, he would be a 3-time MVP by now. The guy can do everything. And the other thing about Kawhi is that in today's league and in today's basketball culture, offense is everything. Like, everybody wants to be the best offensive player, but nobody wants to be the best defensive player. And I even remember like 10 years ago, defense was really important. It was just as important as offense. And Kawhi isn't the best offensive players, but he is the best two-way player. So if you combine his offensive skills and his defensive skills, he's by far the best player on the planet. And I don't even think it's close. If you played a game of one-on-one, I think the only player that could even put up a fight is KD and maybe LeBron. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Q&A. I only have about 850 more questions to answer, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces!